geometry of our blush pink bloom to the structural engineering of our tulip's body. If you have been following along, you should have a beautiful, perfectly shaped pink tulip head sitting in front of you. But a flower without a stem is just a bulb. Today, we are going to build the structure that gives our tulip its dignity, its stature, and its lifelike elegance. This is where we bridge the gap between a soft toy and a professional-grade botanical art piece. We are going to build a stem that is not only sturdy enough to hold the weight of our giant head, but also flexible enough to feel real. We are moving into the territory of the botanical sculptor. Grab your tea, clear your workspace, and let's dive into the mechanics of structure. Section 1, the engineering of the stem, the spine. The secret to a giant standing tulip is the spine. If you just crochet a tube of velvet yarn, no matter how tight your tension is, it will eventually sag, buckle, or lane. We need an internal skeleton. I am using a 4mm thick plastic-coated floral wire. Before we touch the yarn, prepare your wire. Cut a piece about 35 to 40 centimeters long. Take your heavy-duty duct tape and wrap both ends of the wire at least 3 or 4 times. This is non-negotiable. A sharp, raw wire end will eventually poke through your velvet yarn and scratch your furniture, or worse, your hands. By creating these blunt, taped caps, you are protecting the integrity of your work for years to come. Now let's talk about the green velvet yarn. We are using a forest green, which provides a beautiful earthy contrast to our blush pink bloom. Use an 8mm hook, even if your yarn label suggests a 10. Why? Because we want a high tension gauge. We are going to stuff this stem, and if your stitches are too loose, the stuffing will show. Start with a magic ring of 6 single crochets. In the first round, you might feel the hook is a bit tight. That's exactly what we want. Keep your rhythm steady. For this stem, we work in a continuous spiral, so use that stitch marker on the very first stitch of every round. After you reach about 5 centimeters, take your prepared wire. Gently slide it into the center of your green tube. From here on, the mechanics change. You will be crocheting around the wire. This is the step. As you add each new round of single crochets, pause, push a little bit of polyester stuffing between the wire and the inner wall of your green tube. Do not just wait until the end, stuff as you grow. If you leave the stuffing for the end, you'll find it impossible to get it down to the base. You want the stem to feel like a firm, solid branch, not a saggy balloon. Feel the weight of the wire. If it feels like it's slipping, just adjust your hold. This is tactile work. You are using your hands to calibrate the density of the stem. If you find the stem is too thin, don't just pull the yarn, add another round of single crochets to increase the circumference or switch to a slightly larger hook for a few rows. You want the stem to be proportional to the flower head. A giant flower on a tiny, toothpick-like stem will look unbalanced. Spend your time here, get the tension right, feel the weight of the wire inside the yarn. Once you have built this solid, sturdy green pillar, you have created a foundation that will keep your tulip standing tall and proud, regardless of how much you move it or display it. Section 2, the art of the leaf sculpting nature. A tulip leaf is not a rectangle, it is a work of organic sculpture. It has a broad base, a thick fleshy spine in the middle, and tapering, elegant edges. To achieve this, we are going to use stitch height modulation. Start by chaining 35 stitches. This long chain is our foundation. Now work down the right side of the chain, 2 single crochets at the base. This is the anchor point where the leaf will eventually meet the stem. Then work 4 half double crochets. The half double stitch is our transition. It's the bridge between the thin base and the broad center. Now we move into the belly of the leaf, the widest, most lush part. Work 20 double crochets in a row. As you work these, I want you to feel the leaf expanding. Don't rush this. If your tension is too loose, the leaf will look like it has holes. If it's too tight, it will look like a stiff, lifeless plank. You are aiming for a fabric that is firm enough to hold its shape, but soft enough to have a subtle, elegant drape. After the 20 double crochets, reverse the process. 4 half double crochets and 3 single crochets at the very tip. But we aren't done. When you reach the tip, work 3 single crochets into the final chain to create a nice rounded hinge. Then pivot and work back up the other side of the chain, mirroring your stitches exactly. This round the chain method creates a leaf that has a front and a back. Here is my pro tip for you. Take a piece of thin 20 gauge floral wire. Lay it against the edge of your leaf as you work the final round of slip stitches, effectively locking the wire inside the crochet edge. This allows you to permanently pose your leaves. You can bend them into a gentle wave or a graceful curve so they look like they are swaying in a summer breeze. Section 3, developing the botanical aesthetic. Look at your leaves now. They shouldn't be perfectly identical. Nature is beautifully asymmetrical. If one leaf is slightly longer than the other, that is perfect, that is real. Spend time with your leaves, lay them on your table, bend the wire, see how they catch the light. The velvet is going to behave differently depending on which direction you stroke the fuzz. This is the grain of the fabric. Align your leaves so that they look lush and full. By adding the wire, you've moved from being a crocheter to being a sculptor. You are creating movement out of yarn. Look at how the light hits the leaves compared to the stem. The contrast in texture between the firm stem and the elegant, swaying leaves is what creates the wow factor. If you notice any loose fibers on the surface, simply brush them off with your fingers. This is the stage where you refine the finish of your project. A closing, summary, and transition to part 3. Look at what we've achieved today. You have a solid, professional-grade stem reinforced with an internal skeleton, and you have 2 graceful leaves that look like they belong in a garden. You've moved past the beginner phase and into the structural artisan phase of this project. It's starting to look like a real high-end botanical piece, isn't it? Take a moment to appreciate the weight of that stem. It feels professional and it feels built to last. Before we move on, I want you to check your work. Give your stem a gentle squeeze, it should be firm. Flex your leaf wire, it should hold its pose. If everything feels solid, you are ready for the final, most rewarding stage. In part 3, we are going to perform the invisible assembly. We will fuse the bloom and the stem together so that they become one inseparable, beautiful sculpture. You have done the heavy lifting, the structural work, and the artistic shaping. I am so incredibly proud of your patience. Keep your pink bloom, your green stem, and your leaves together in a safe spot. I will see you in part 3, where we will bring this whole project to life. Thank you for your hard work, you're doing a fantastic job, and I am so excited to see the final result. See you in the next part.